So this is a question from Ella, age 10. How did you think up the five lamps? Did they come from a dream or something you saw in real life? Now, Ella, this really comes to the crux of the question because the making of the five lamps or the creation of it came when I was at school and I was about 11 years old. So close to your age. And what happened was I was at school and a teacher gave me a prize, an English prize for our class. Not that I was very good at English, but anyway, I got the prize, maybe out of pity. And I was given a beautiful edition of The Hobbit and illustrated edition. And I read The Hobbit, and it completely opened up my mind, blew my mind away. I've always had a strong imagination, I believe, and I was completely transported to this amazing new world. And then around the same time, I read Redwall by Brian Jakes, which is all about mice and rats. Uh, and I loved that as well. I loved the characterization. And my young mind brought the two together. And in a very short period of time, the world of the five lamps took form in a frenzy of imagination. And however, I pursued a different career. I never became a writer. I became an architect and have pursued that career. And I've always, even though I've lived with this world in my head, I never managed to put it down on paper, or at least I tried over various periods, but never quite managed to finish it because the most difficult thing of writing a book is one, starting it, but also finishing it is even more difficult, I find. So uh, during the pandemic, uh, I had more time on my hands than usual. And I decided, given the experiences I had accumulated over a lifetime, to finally tackle this uh, monster, shall we say, and bring the story to a conclusion. What I didn't realize was that instead of bringing it to a conclusion, it was the beginning of a new adventure and one which I'm very much enjoying. I've now written two books. Book one is out on Amazon, and book two arrives on the 31st of August. And I'm now on chapter 20 of book three, which is proving using all the experience I've accumulated in writing the first two is now proving to be slightly easier to write, even though uh, I'm still encountering great difficulties there as well. But that comes to the sort of behind your question is not only how did you come to create this world, but how did I, a non-writer, manage to put it down in the book form? And the answer is with great difficulty. As I said, I started creating this world, 34 years before I actually ended up writing it. So I had a long time to process in my mind, and that is probably one of the reasons why you might find that the world within which this story unfolds has such a deep folklore and realism to it is because I've been kind of playing with it in my mind for the best part of 3 decades. So that is what makes this book slightly different to maybe other books which are created, shall we say, on the spot or as an exercise to, write a story with an interesting context. So there you have to invent afresh, whereas I came to this book having created the world, lived with the characters in my mind, know what they do for breakfast, even though thing I know things that will never appear in the books, but it kind of gives depth to the story because I'm able to hint at things which give the reader an idea that there's more to this book than just what you're reading. There's a whole world behind it, and that sparks imagination in the young reader, or in all readers, to be honest. So thank you very much for your question, and I hope that answers it.